Pre-transplant, peak sickness. So you did carpet laying, flooring, installing carpets, hardwood, everything. Such labor-intensive work. You had a PICC line.
Goes into your arm and then there's an antibiotic bottle attached to that which feeds antibiotics 24/7.
These are like broad spectrum antibiotics, potent, and you're not meant to be on for long periods of time, obviously. You're on it for 6 months. So that PICC line was really close to his heart. So you can't do physical activity, you can't work, you can't do a lot of those things. So you were off work for a while. You were so exhausted anyway.
Yeah, those were the days where I literally just felt like I could sleep 24/7 because I just had no energy.
Then the transplant happened. You didn't return to your previous job. In a nutshell, why?
Well, there's lots of different reasons, but physically it was just going to be too much. Wanted to try something new, wanted to help with the businesses, wanted to get out of that industry, that physical labour side of thing. You're on anti-rejection meds.
So your immune system is suppressed.
Suppressed, yeah.
For life.
So obviously pulling up old carpet.
It makes me sick to my stomach to think of all the microbes and bacteria and stuff that was in all the carpet you're pulling up. But anyway, that's one thing that I think was quite positive to come out of, or many positive things come out of the transplant, of course, but perhaps even more so your sickness and the fact that it got to that extent was the fact that I think realistically that was probably the only thing that would have pushed you out of that line of work.
It's hard to go from a job that earns good money in a trade to just switching to a new job without any skill. You have to learn, you have to upskill, and you can't just do that overnight. So as I said before, it just takes time. It's just life. You need to earn money to pay bills, so you do what you have been doing for a long time because it's the easiest, and obviously it's hard to just switch from one thing to another. Something like that life-changing is enough to make you make that move regardless of the risks.
Anyone who has a tradie as a partner would understand that the older they get, you can't do that kind of work forever, and you don't want to be pushing 40 and 50, 60, still having to use your body in order to make money.
Yeah, so I've been studying drafting at TAFE. It's just been really exciting learning something new, just working with the software and learning all about houses and everything that goes into it.
Fast forward to now, it is wonderful. Reece is not very tech savvy.
It's not that I wasn't tech savvy. I'm just... Like what?
I just...
In what way?
Ooh, I realised that I may have offended you with that one.
Yeah, how am I not tech savvy? In what way? What did you have to teach me? Like, what's that? Crickets.
Rewind. Reece was not aware of anything to do with how the businesses ran because they had always been just my thing. It was just something that I had always done on my own. I would talk to him about stuff, but not in great depth because he had no context. He didn't know what anything really meant. It's been basically a year, but it's only really now gotten to the point where Reece knows as much as I know, which is stunning because there is so much to learn. We figured out what your strengths are, what I am good at.
We figured out which person does what well.
Nice. This is what we were talking about yesterday. It makes sense to have a co-founder in a business because it's generally the creative person and then the analytical, like logistical. You need both. And I, oh Lord, for too long did not understand anything about, I did not know the numbers, nothing. Everything was just on a whim. I'm good at many parts of the business, but there are so many parts that I just kind of stuck my head in the sand.
It'd be great for you to have someone come in to help actually look over everything and go, hang on, like, where are we at? What's going on? And just not clean things up, but just get a bigger picture and better picture of what's going on.
You definitely do clean things up. Reece is very clever. You're a very intelligent person and you're very...
Not very tech savvy though.
Oh, that's going to be a sore spot now. I was just wearing too many hats. I actually don't...
Chocolate on my nose?
No. Oh, wait.
Yeah. I always do.
Chocolate,
It's been days where I go to the mirror and I'm like, there's a big chocolate line from my... Like that.
Chocolate. Yeah. It's just so stunning, wonderful to have someone there with you along the way, to get frustrated with someone about something, to get excited with them about something, to share the wins and the losses, and we listen to podcasts together about business stuff and make decisions together. Like, I hate making decisions and I was making them all on my own and not really knowing the full picture either. It's just been such a beautiful, beautiful journey to have you with me and to be growing them like we are and having the new one that we're working on. And of course, there are pros and cons to being in this position now, like not going to a normal job. You actually liked meeting people and going to different houses.
I guess the big part was meeting someone new every day, which sounds silly for someone with anxiety, but it's like when you're in that situation, people's walls are down. I feel like when you're coming into their house to change their flooring, we used to have great conversations and people used to tell me so many interesting things about their lives that are going. It's almost because you're in their house, they open up to you. I miss that part of things and seeing beautiful houses and designs and things like that. Obviously, is a trade-off.
Nothing's going to be perfect, is it?
But I love being at home, being with Loz, being with Mia every day, being able to actually help out with means during the day.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Being able to watch my sport every morning. I never used to be able to do that.
Go to the beach for a little lunch break.
Just taking life as it comes rather than rush, go.
Stunning. I'm sure people are curious how you are doing health-wise.
Hmm. For the most part, I'm good. I've developed an incisional hernia, so just waiting to get that surgery and get that fixed. But otherwise, the liver is working amazing. Body's enjoying it, loving it.
Body's
Back,
enjoying
yeah,
it.
I'm back to how I almost was before that. All that whole journey, getting back to the gym, working out, but obviously restricted with the hernia.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like a back step. Obviously, everything's not always smooth, but we'll get there. It's just another step along the way. But other than that, I'm feeling great. Life is great. That's the main thing.
The incisional thing is where
3 incisions meet. There's a weakness in the abdomen wall. And so obviously it's split open and your insides are pushing against like the final layer almost. It's like,
Let me out.
that's how it feels. It almost feels like someone could just scratch it and it'll just be like,
Oh no.
pick your insides up.
No.
It is what it is.
At least your
Small.
beautiful liver, I love you so much, is doing well.
It's the main thing.
I'm going to get back into filming on this channel, these kind of short, higher quality videos on all different topics, beauty, business, mental health, fashion, tech, lifestyle, all that good stuff. Peace!